Chevy has reworked the exterior of the Blazer. Morgan Chevrolet gives us the 2023 Chevrolet Blazer RS front-wheel drive in red hot. And through this series, we're going to show you what that V6 is like and how the interior has improved against Nissan, Honda, and Hyundai, and why this is the better option. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The Chevy Blazer RS is not just aesthetics, you also get a V6, so you get the sport style on the exterior, tuned suspension. The front track is at 66.4 inches, new LED headlamps and daytime running, so it's a dual face setup with your bow tie all blacked out, more of an X-shaped grille with the RS inside the honeycomb, and even on the lower trim adding all the gloss black. The new fascia makes this look the most sporty when we're looking at any of the rivals. Set 21-inch high gloss black alloy wheels, the disc rating behind it at 12.6 ventilated, the rear at 12.4 inches ventilated. RS suspension, the front suspension is a McPherson strut independent with hydraulic control arm ride bushings and hollow stabilizer bar. The rear is a 5-link independent and hollow stabilizer bar, a length at 191.4 inches, which the Nissan Murano will be the longest, a wheelbase at 112.7. We get the two-tone look. So the gloss black is going to be on the roof and on the lower with the smoke chrome that goes down the skirts. You still get that class of luxury with the chrome that's going to unlock and lock all doors on all four corners. Blazer badging blacked out and a touch of the gloss black around the side view mirror. So it's not necessarily over the top, it really gives that dynamic stance. Gloss black roof rails and the shark fin antenna, lower roof spoiler with aerodynamic lines that brush out. The rear window, nice and round with the gloss black surrounding it, reworked LED tail lamps, and the lower bit gets the gloss black treatment. This is the V6, so 4,500 pounds is what you could tow up to with your front and rear parking sensors, 360-degree reverse camera, RS badging, power lift gate going inside to 31 cubic feet. Underneath, we have a spare tire and some storage all around it. We have a 12-volt charger, LED interior lights to split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split in the back, increases cargo to 64.2 cubic feet. V6 engine, we need to go inside and start up this RS so you can hear that exhaust note. You get an exhaust note, you get the style, you have dynamics for the suspension, you have your towing capabilities and cargo, and they back the performance with a 3.6 liter V6 producing 308 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission, achieving 19 to 27 mpgs with the 0 to 60 under 6.5 seconds, quarter mile around 15 seconds. Now the 0 to 60 and quarter mile will be slower than Honda and Hyundai. It's going to be faster than Nissan. That's a CVT transmission, which is what everybody pretty much doesn't like. Towing is going to be best in the Honda, then this will be the second best. Comparing it to the rivals, is this one better on the exterior? Let me know your thoughts in the comments about the 2023 Chevy Blazer RS as we go inside, go over the tech, and take this for our drive. The Chevy Blazer RS headroom starts at 39.8 inches, 41 inches of legroom, bucket front seats, 10-way power adjustment for the driver, 6-way for the passenger, red and black accents, heated ventilated seats. The dashboard will have the Camero design setup and we get the new 10.2-inch infotainment screen that comes out of it with the pinch because we have navigation and a swipe. Click into the home button, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot. This is your area here where you can change the wedges, put it into reverse. We have a 360-degree reverse camera with full trajectory, and you also have different camera positions and angles that you can change multiple different functions to make it easier for your reversing. Working underneath it, you'll get the piano black that runs down the dash with that red contrast stitching, also on all of your air vents, dual climate control settings, wireless charging pad right there in the center with a USB-A and USB-C port, leather for your gear lever, and you get the RS badging with that contrast stitching. You have your driver mode select, cup holders, I would say probably a 20 ounce, another little area for a storage, more sporty for your elbows. It's a deep storage pocket with another USB-C port and a 12 volt, just not necessarily so wide. You do have an area here that you can put some papers and it'll hold it. Going onto your 4-spoke steering wheel, it's multi-function. We get the chrome and that contrast stitching, and it's heated. The gauge cluster can go through an array of information for the driver in the center, or you could just have your digital speedo, and the dash is going to be more dynamic because of the way it bulges out, especially contrasting to the hood. We have the digital rear view mirror, so it makes it easier for you. Going on to the door panel that configures into the dash with the piano black, more everyday materials, softer for your elbows, one touch up and down for just the driver, and memory seats for the driver. A storage pocket right here that you can fit your umbrella, and another little storage pocket in the area to open up your tailgate with your 8-speaker premium Bose sound system. For the back seats, I'm at 38.6 inches of headroom, 39.6 inches of legroom. Because we don't have any pano or sunroof, we actually gain nearly 2 inches of headroom, which is great for tall people, and I can actually move my head freely. I don't have to worry about all of the dynamic styling on the exterior. Even though it does bulge and make it nice and round, it doesn't sacrifice headspace in the interior. These seats are also manual adjustment to recline, or you could just leave it back like that. So for a longer journey, it's going to be more comfortable. We have a home plug, USB-A and C port with your air vents, and a storage pocket all the way down here with storage behind both of the front seats. The door panel, it's everyday material, and I have the child lock so I can't open it. One touch down, but not up. We got heated seats, and you got some storage in the bottom tray here. It's going to be a little bit tight, and it's not as deep. Sitting into the center, headroom is still no issue, nor is leg space. Feet space isn't really either because it's a wide vehicle, but in shoulder space kind of is because the seats do not go all the way to the door panels. They give you about 2 inches on both sides, and it is a little tight to get into the area for storage. However, it's doable to fit 3 adults my dimensions. 308 horsepower, what do you get? A really loud exhaust note in the interior. It really funnels in a little bit more so than I actually would have anticipated. 270 pound-feet of torque. It's not going to be the best in performance numbers. However, it does beat the Nissan Murano, and it does beat it in the sense that it's not a CVT transmission, better in towing. And it also beats the Hyundai Santa Fe in towing also. The front hood, the way look at these idiots. The way the front projects itself from this dash and the hood, it really makes it feel more sport and dynamic than any of the rivals, in which gives you that fun to drive on an everyday spirit. And to show you what I mean by that is just push the gas. It's not going to throw you back tremendously, but it still gives you that fun to drive factor, and you still have the dynamics to move in and out of the lanes because it's not so wide, but it has a wide projection in the front. Now, there is some things I like and dislike, and that's what we're going to go over right now. Starting off with the updates on the exterior, I think they just blew it out of the ballpark because the grille It's all piano black, sleek lights in the front. The rear mimics the front, so you have dynamics on all four corners, even on the side, giving the two-tone look. The second thing that I like is if you wanted a Camaro, you're gonna have that feel on the dash the way it's set up for this. So it's basically two cars in one. It's an SUV, so you can go over any type of terrain. Obviously, you're not going to go too crazy with off-roading because it's not necessarily meant for that. The last thing that I like is in the door panels in the front, you have an area for an umbrella, in which every vehicle should do this, because that way you're not getting water everywhere when it rains. Going into some things I dislike, has to start off with the armrest in the center here. You actually sit uneven. It's higher up than the door panels. Going into the second thing that I dislike, the design was great. Put in the 10.2 inch diagonal screen, it just comes out of the dash. They could have configured it in the dash and maybe raised the air vents, which brings me to the last thing I dislike, because where these air vents are in the center, it has to blow upwards. So if you're tall like me, your hand is pretty much right in front of it, blocking a lot of the air, in which you have to turn it up so much higher that it's hitting a lot more of the ceiling. Either way, you're not going to get the full potential of the air vents because of where they're stationed. So they should have maybe changed or altered the configuration, putting the infotainment lower. The way they have it set for the angle, it's good because it blocks off any reflection. However, it just kind of stands out. With the two-tone look for the roof, you're going to have to pay extra for that. So you can't just get an RS and expect it to be there. It's going to be a little bit less than $600-700. Turn radius at more or less a stop point, hoping you'll be about 2 lanes, and I'm wrong. So what that means, I got to go into a plaza, because it's 2 and a part lane, in which it makes it a little bit harder to use for turn radius on a daily use, because you don't want to scratch these upgraded wheels. That goes back to the rival perspective, where you're going to have a little bit better turning radius, but for rock and roll purposes, this is what you get. So will it be easy to maneuver in and out? Yeah, you're gonna have to make some adjustments because the turn radius is a little bit more. Going back to the rivals, the Honda Passport, I think they did a great job with the Trail Sport. It is a great car overall, very rugged, off-road oriented looking. It has somewhat of performance, but not really a lot in that perspective. When you're looking at dynamics for the road, this one takes the cake. As for Nissan, they haven't configured that vehicle since probably, what, 2015? It's getting a little bit old. The whole interior, it's really just stressing luxury, and since there's really no updates, there's really no purpose of saying it's better, because, I hate to say it, this one is gonna look better and feel better. As for Hyundai Santa Fe, excellent job with the interior. You're going to start spending around $45,000. You want to go to the calligraphy. You want to obviously get the more powerful variant engine, in which is faster than this one, quarter mile and 0 to 60, and also better in your gas consumption. It's not going to be better than towing. Interior space, this is going to have a little bit more so for the backseat occupants. The front seat, you're going to have a little bit more headroom. Legroom is about the same as that. And as for the ground clearance, that one's going to be the best. Everyday and fun drive, you're going to have a little bit more so in this because you have that Camaro design. So giving the two-car effect makes this one stand out a little bit more sporty, and you still get the technology. As for the visibility, the front windscreen is oval. It goes behind the A-pillars, which is a good thing, and they are pushed back. They are chunky, so it's going to have a little bit of blind spot, and you get those little Prius windows here, but they actually carve out a little bit of space so you can kind of see whenever you're taking some harder corners, in which I wouldn't necessarily go crazy with it because this is not a sports car. As for the back, you're gonna have some blind spots. You got blind spot monitoring, you got your adaptive cruise control, so you are pretty well taken care of with safety amenities. And you have decent ground clearance. You actually feel like you're over 8 inches of ground clearance, because the way I'm sitting in this seat, and I have it on the lowest setting down, I'm sitting almost above the hood and the dash. So if you were in a Camero, you would be sitting underneath it and have a lot more blind spots. So this could be a great alternative if you were looking for a sports car and you wanted an SUV. I'd like to thank Morgan Chevrolet for giving us this 2023 Chevrolet Blazer RS for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the Instagram, merchandise, and website, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.